Hello everyone, and welcome to another video where we're going to talk about a really cool concept in Pokemon Unite. It's the only way to win. It's called scoring. Now, of course, there are many ways to win in Pokemon Unite in terms of gameplay, but there's actually only one game mechanic that helps you win, and it's scoring. Like, I know it sounds surprising. You have all these things in the game, and at the end of the day, the only thing that actually matters is how much points you put in the goals. So what I want to talk about today is a little few things about scoring, a tip or two that are going to help you win more games of Pokemon Unite. So what we're going to do is, because I believe in upfronting the knowledge, I'm going to give you a short outline about what we're going to talk about today in today's video. And, if you like it, of course, get your drink, whatever, food, get comfortable, take a bite, take a swig, and, stay with me. And if not, that's okay. Leave a like, leave a sub, and leave a comment down below about what you'd like to see instead, because I'm very open to taking your advice in these videos. So of course, guys, thank you so much. I'm assuming that you're all staying. You're believing in me to tell you about scoring. Okay, so we know that right now, what I've said is it's the only way to win Pokemon Unite. I'm sure you've all learned that through however many games of Unite you played. So what are the kinds of scoring? Like, is there different kinds? Now, of course, scoring is pretty simple, right? You score points. The first pad has 80 health, the second pad has 100, and the last pad has infinite health. And the most important thing about scoring, it's quite simple actually. You want to go and stand on the pad to help your teammates. You'll be surprised by the amount of players who don't or are not aware about this fact. It's actually stunning. You dramatically increase the scoring by how many people are standing on the pad. If your whole team is standing on the pad, it only takes, I think 1.5 seconds to score 50 points. Which, if you can imagine, if everyone's standing on the home base over here, that's a very fast 500 points if everyone has 50. So, of course, I'm talking about in the late game where you get 100 instead of 50. So, talking about scoring, of course, by breaking the pads, you give the opposition farm. And I want you to think about the farm as in these neutral camps that spawn. Now, of course, the top side gives more than the bot side, which is an interesting map dynamic, which is going to give strength to the bottom lane. In terms of, if you break bottom lane, they're going to get less farm to do over the game. Whereas if you break top lane, I would say more often than not, the top laner is actually quite happy about that. So think about that decision. This is a very important thing to think about. It's a bit of a thinking exercise. I'm going to ask a question, and we're going to count to 3, and you're going to answer in the comments. So this is how many farmers in top lane naturally, right? There is up to 6 farms spawning in with the Altarias not being counted, right? So if you break the enemy's tower before the 8-minute mark, do you believe it's a very worth it play? And why would you explain why it's worth? Okay, 3, 2, 1. If you have your answer ready, of course, say verbally, whatever, get it out of you. Because I think more often than not, I would say even 80% of the time, it's not worth it. The reason you want to break this pad is if you were tremendously over-leveled. So, for example, you're a huge stomping character in the top lane. Or, that's pretty much the only reason. And I'll explain why. So this may seem absurd. Oh, score leads win the game. Score wins the game. Yes, it does. But you're going to give your opponent free, uncontestable experience farms. It's very hard to take this farm away from any top laner, really. You have to be very far ahead to take this away. As I said, if you're an unkillable juggernaut, maybe you can consider it. But if you're not, really be afraid of taking this top tower. Because if you're thinking about it, you go from taking 6 farm that you're going to guarantee win because you're winning. So this is 6 pieces of XP. And then now you're giving them free XP. And they don't even need to look at you to do it. And then now you have nothing. You get 1. So at the end of the day, you're actually doing a very risky trade. Remember, score leads can be built later into the game. And if you're so afraid that you can't beat them later, yeah, okay, you have to break it and you have to go make actions around the map. Be consciously reminding yourself that you've given up 6 XP, so you need to make plays that equal 6 XP every minute. Because you should be taking all the farm from them if you're going to break the tower in 8 minutes. So there you go. That's just a little thought experiment for you to think about in an upcoming segment of this video. So now that we know, okay, maybe it's not all the time it's about breaking, we know the bottom tower only gives 2 farm. So is it a little bit better to break that earlier? Yeah, I'd say the bottom tower is great. You want to break this tower. It's very defensive. Now, why is it so defensive? It has very good access to the Rayquaza pit and its main defenses. let's think about it like this, right? Like these little red blocks, they're the main entries to a Rayquaza team for both teams. So having a pad immediately here means that they can't flank you from this side. They can't flank you from this side. They can't, because you can see all of it thanks to your pad. So when you're thinking about like this, wow, this pad actually gives a lot of support and value. And it's something that's a little bit underlooked in Pokemon Unite. Yeah, the pad only gives some shields and a little bit of healing, but it does serve as a defensive structure. And you need to remember that in the game. All right, guys. Now, I really appreciate that when you're thinking about pads and structures of defense, let's think about our Rayquaza as a bit of a deeper thought experiment. So scoring at Rayquaza, this is a big if, a big but. It's a really terrible point in this game. I'd say the Rayquaza time, which is 2 minutes and down, is the most important part of Pokemon Unite. And sometimes a lot of players will decide that, hey, look, it's the time to check out, and let's just go and try to force a score. So let's go over a scoring situation that you might see in some of your games. I'm going to pick an apt character to score. Actually, no, I got an even better one. Talonflame, it's 2 minutes. This pad is broken, and so is this pad. And your team is positioning around Rayquaza to see what's happening. Talonflame decides to just walk straight onto this pad at 2 minutes of his Goal Getter. Let's get Goal Getter, boom. And activate Goal Getter to score the points, which is going to be a 46. Very, very optimal of them. They're going to score to 46. Now, do you think this is a right play? Let's just imagine none of the enemies are seen, and your teams are about the same approximate strength. Now, you have 3 seconds to answer below. 3, 2, 1. Now, if you answer that you think this is a great play, I don't agree with it. I think without having any vision or any idea what the enemy team could be doing, and we're not even talking about team compositions, this is generally very risky. Talonflame has good secure. It's a very powerful Pokemon in a team fight if played correctly. Sacrificing all that to get 94 score, or 92 score, my maths is terrible, but 92 score that isn't even guaranteed that, you know, if they jump up in the pad, like if they are standing around here, not only are they going to kill Talonflame, but they're probably going to be able to kill your whole team after this because they're going to be a net member up. Talonflame is going to be dead forever. And more often than not, Talonflame is not going to give any value to your team. So this is just really bad. And you see this so many times. I guess what I'm trying to say here is that scoring at Rayquaza, it's not really a viable play, especially in solo queue. It is a good play if you're in a high-level team or a team environment where you're talking and discussing about this option, but it's not really a good play in solo queue. Try not to make this play. What I'd encourage you to do instead is if you see the map go to 20 seconds and the enemy team isn't hitting Rayquaza, look to defend your bases or attack their bases. The principle to do this would be behind mathematics. I know, strange, the mathematics is dropped again. But what I'm trying to encourage you to say is that if the math is right, go for the play. It's pretty simple to me. When you make the good math decision, it should work out like this. They only have 40 points. I have 60 points in total. I'm going to go score the 30 points and then turn into 60. And they're going to go score their 20. And we should be ahead thanks to that trade. If you look at the map and you read the counter before that moment, and you see that we're in the lead, you don't even need to make that play, and you can just go and focus on defending. When you think about the game in this structured way, more often than not, you're going to clean up your end game, and you're going to make it a lot better in terms of the scoring. Now, okay, thank you everyone so much for listening to the video, understanding a bit more about scoring in the game, just using the map, just thinking about, is it worth it? Is it nice? Is it strong? Is it good? These are all beautiful things to think about in Pokemon Unite, and I love that we can do a thinking exercise together and, try to improve as a group. So, of course, if you like this kind of video, please let me know down in the comments. If you want me to change some stuff, please let me know too. I tried a little bit of a shorter video where I haven't gone into amazing detail about it, but I've gone into a sufficiently amount of detail where I feel like we're covering the right points. So, of course, let me know, as always, what you feel with a comment. Like the video no matter what, because we love you, and sub to the channel because, of course, you guys are great. And I think we're all going to have a wonderful new year. So once again, cheers, everyone. Thank you for staying with me, and let's continue to have a great new year. All right, I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye, guys.